Hello, hello, hello. Oh my God. Can y'all believe it? We are back. For those of you guys that don't know me, I am Torin Darling Brazel, founder, CEO, and president of Ignite. And how this all got started was with our Sunday events that we call Sip and Sort. Every single Sunday, we would get on here and we would share different tips and strategies really centered around small business. And we are launching our Sip and Sorts again today. But instead of us just focusing in on small businesses, what we're really focusing in on this time is our wealth. Every single Sunday now, we're going to be jumping in and we're going to be sharing tips and strategies and having guest speakers here to help you sip and sort through the various challenges of our lives so that we can master our personal finances and our business finances on multiple levels. So today, our presentation is simply it's vital. It's time for us to master your personal finances. And through this presentation, you're going to get practical insights to strengthen your financial stability and well being. Now, I have a quick disclaimer for you. This presentation is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. Always consult a qualified professional before making financial decisions. The presenter and affiliated entities are not liable for any actions taken based on this information. So now let's talk about why is this matter urgent? Well, number one, so many of us are getting burned out from rising cost, paycheck to paycheck, contract to contract, grant to grant, being overworked and underpaid, a lack of health benefits and or retirement is pushing Americans to the brink. Then you layer on top of that corporate and philanthropy funding shifts. And last but not least, we cannot do this live without addressing the elephant in the room, the rapidly changing US federal funding policies and cuts. So now you may be wondering, because I know a lot of times it's really an uncomfortable conversation. Why does mastering your personal finances matter? And y'all, I'm here to tell you it's really simple because you are the heart of your community. And one of the things that I've learned over these last 6 years is that, particularly for those of us that are business owners or nonprofit leaders, a lot of times no one has ever really told us that there is no such thing as business credit when you're first getting started. You, my friends, are your business credit because you're going to, if you have not established credit yet for your business, you have to personally guarantee, right? So it's really important that we bring and elevate personal finances because that really is the beginning and the ending of everything. But I'm here to remind you that just because we're always serving, that does not mean self destruction. Okay. A lot of times we're going to put, if we're business owners, we're going to put our businesses first. If we're parents, we're going to put our children first, right? If we're spouses, we're going to put our spouse and our family members first. Y'all, that is not today and every day after this one. I'm telling you, this is not the time. You've got to lean in and do what you need to do to take care of yourself first, then your family, then your businesses. And so I want to give you an alert because what I'm going to show you, you've most likely seen and used the following stats before. But today, it's time to turn the mirror on yourself. As we review, I need you to be honest. Where do you and your family truly stand in these numbers? So let's talk about the value of household wealth. Based on data from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, the distribution of household wealth by percentile in the United States is as follows. The top 10% are 1.6 million or more. So that means if you make in revenue 1.6 million or more, you're in the top 10%. But the median household income in the United States is 176,500. That is really far away from the top 10%. But this is where it starts getting super disturbing. The top 1% has a household income of 11.6 million or more. But on the other side of that, the top 25% are 615,000 or more. And the bottom 11% is zero or negative. To be clear, that is 13.9 million households in the United States literally have a zero or negative net worth. Y'all, that's scary. What that means is most Americans literally are on the brink. And that was before all of these different changes that are happening at the federal level. This data is from 2023. That was before we had millions of people at this point that have quit, been fired, been laid off, or tricked into retirement. For those that are in the nonprofit or social impact space, a lot of grants and contracts have been rescinded, have been canceled, right? So, what that means is before all of this instability, things were really shaky for us as a community with the bottom 11%, 13.9 million people or more, zero or negative. So when we look at the individual net worth by race, Black families, 44,900. Hispanic families, 62,000. White families, 284,000. And other multi-race families, 132,000. So again, we're turning the mirror on ourselves and we're really being honest and saying today, where do we stand? And I want to be clear because somebody might be watching and may not understand how do you calculate your net worth. And it's really simple. You look at the assets that you own. That may be your house, right? Even if you're still paying a mortgage, do you have equity in it, right? Whatever it is that you own that is valuable, that is now an asset. It could be your home, it could be a car, it could be investments, like if you have a 401k or some version of a retirement, cash that you may have in the bank or on hand. If you're investing in the stock market, if you have a whole life insurance policy that has built up some cash value, these are the type of assets that you use. And whatever the total of that is, you now look at all of your expenses, everything that you're paying out every month, a quarter, or throughout the year. And whatever the total amount of your expenses are, you subtract that from the total amount of your assets, and that's how you get to your net worth. I have a couple of folks that are on this call. I hope that you guys have an ink pen. I want you, whether it's on an ink pen or on your cell phone in your note section, I want you to take a minute and I want you to try to draft out what your net worth is today. And here we go. Assets, what you own: real estate, cash, insurance policies, stocks and equities, retirement accounts. Those are just a few examples. Liabilities. These are your expenses. What do you owe? Your mortgage, your car payments, your credit card and loans, student loans. That's a big one. Now, look, this is a private exercise. You don't have to share this with us, but you do need to know your numbers. Okay. And if you still have a mortgage, but let's just say you're like me. So, for example, my home is valued at $120,000. Okay. But I still owe on my mortgage $42,000. Okay. So, on my home, once I take the $120,000 that is valued at, and I subtract 42,000, that means I have $78,000 in value of my asset, right? That's what my net worth is before I subtract anything else. Now, that's just my mortgage. There may be my personal home, there may be other things that I have. But at the end of the day, I'm wanting to make sure you understand how to do this. And while you guys are doing this exercise, I want to let you know that today is a new day. So no matter what your net worth currently is, I need you to pause, breathe, and release, and love yourself and be kind. Because the bottom line is, y'all, there are so many things in life that we don't have any control over. And I'm going to stop sharing for just a second because I want to make sure that you guys see me and that I see you. There's so many things in life that we don't have control over, right? That it's very important for us to acknowledge the things that we do and we control them well. So remember when I told you that my house right now is valued at $115,000. Okay. Now, I am Black, clearly. I live in a distressed community that has been redlined. When I purchased my home in 2008, this house was valued at $90,000. 2008, y'all, $90,000. In 2008, the market crashed, real estate did a thing, and my house over the next couple of years went down as low in value as $74,000. But in my community, there is a house that is literally the twin. I am persuaded that both of our properties had the same builder. The difference is that house is less than 15 minutes away from where I am. It is in an adjacent area that has a lot more white people in it than my community, right? And while my house was slipping down in value, that house was going up in value, right? So while mine went down as low as $74,000, that house went up as high as $272,000. And what you need to know is that my house actually has on the outside a lot of property. We have way more property than that real estate does. Our home actually looks better on the outside, and I'm certain that it looks better on the inside. But remember when I told you that there's so many things in life we don't have any control over? Well, what I just explained to you in real life are the systemic inequities that a lot of Black and brown folks have to deal with every single day, right? Now, this is the reason why it's important for you to lock in on your finances, because no matter what I do, y'all, I have literally lost so much value in my personal net worth simply because I was born into this world with melanin in my skin, and I live in a community less than 15 minutes away, right? But because of my zip code, when my home was going down in value, that one was going up. And we saw actually in 2023 that that house sold for $365,000. Did you hear me? 365,000. And my house is bigger, has more land, looks better, all of the things. So there are some things, regardless of what people say or do. I know the gaslighting is real, but things are not fair. Things are not equitable. That's not for debate, right? These are facts. It's my truth, at least. But I also am here to tell you that if you lean in and you do the things that I'm encouraging you to do, if you register and begin to join us for these Sunday Sip and Source, and not just listen, but take action, we're going to go on a journey together where we're going to help you really understand exactly where you are, right? The steps you need to take so that in the areas of things that you can change, the things that you can manage, that you take that and you control it and you manage it well. Y'all with me? All right. So now let's go ahead and let's go back to the presentation so that we can continue forward. So we're going to pause. We're going to breathe. We're going to release, because today is a new day. Now, here's the reality check. It's a lot going on right now. And I know that a lot of us are still in shock. I know it's a lot of us that still can't believe a whole lot, but I want you to understand that the Calvary may not be coming. There is no magic pot of money waiting to save you, your business, your family, your school, your nonprofit, or your community. Okay? It isn't. But we're going to be better than okay. Why? Because you can save yourself and your family. But it's time to be real about your end game. I need you to know your resources. Understand your burn rate. What does that mean? How much are you spending every single month in your personal finances, in your business, right? And how much cash? So let's just say that you spend $5,000 a month, okay? How much do you have in savings? Do you have 5,000? Do you have 15,000? Do you have 30,000? Because whatever your assets are, right? Whatever your net worth is, the money that you can tap into, that becomes your burn rate, right? So we just said that with my home alone, I have $78,000 available to me. So let's just say that I spent $5,000 a month. What that means is my burn rate, I have 15 months. I have 15 months potentially before, like, if anything happened, I have enough to carry me and my family for the next 15 months. That's what your burn rate is about. Now, once you understand what that burn rate is, now it's time for you to prioritize your resource allocations, okay? That paycheck that's coming in, those grants that are coming in, those contracts that are coming in, like, It's time for you to go really, really lean. Protect your personal finances and start cutting back everywhere you can. It's very important. So now that we're really real about where we are, now let's look at how you can focus and take action because you do have options. Number one, get involved in your local elections. I know that there's a lot going on, and a lot of times it feels like our vote doesn't matter, our voice doesn't matter, our opinions don't matter. But I'm telling you, that with everything that is happening right now on a national level, at the federal level, it is really important for you to get involved and get to know your local elected officials, whether that's your mayor's office, your school board, your city councilors, the commissioners. You got to get off the sidelines, y'all, and you got to get active. The next thing I need you to do is to re envision and reinvent yourself if needed. If you are working a job, you've now looked when we talked about prioritizing your resource allocation and began to cut back everywhere you can. But you know what? Sometimes we just need to bring in extra income. So, are there some other things that you need to do, right, to bring in that extra income? Because it's time to explore new funding sources and make strategic pivots. Is it time potentially for you to partner, right? Merging and collaborating with others to strengthen your impact. I remember when I was growing up, there was multi generational living. Is it time, right, for you guys to begin as families to start living together? Friends living together, whatever it's going to take to help you increase your roadway with that burn rate, I need you to start making those shifts and changes now. And the last thing is to exit or pause with intention, right? So what that means for me, if I look at it on a personal level, is what are the things right now that I have that aren't necessary? What are the things that I can stop or I need to stop? Those things, those are decisions that we're making right now. And so now let's talk about mastering your personal finances because it is time to spend, invest, and borrow wisely. So, when you're looking at your assets, it's time to prioritize investing in appreciating assets. That means real estate, stocks, whole life insurance policies through mutual companies, and etc. I need you to avoid overspending. It is time for you to live beneath your means. I'm telling you guys, things are about to get worse before they get worse. These are ways that you can protect you and your family in the long run. And the last thing is to maintain a very good credit score. Like this is now, y'all, it's time for us to work for team 800 or higher and to save a minimum of $10,000, a minimum. Okay. And so there is something called infinite banking concept. And I'm going to actually have some professionals to come in to share this with you. But I want you to know that there are serious strategies that are available. And for those of you guys that are with me in the Zoom, I'm actually going to give you a link for a video that you can watch so that you can get brought up to speed with this infinite banking. And as we move forward, when you prioritize your financial well being, you're not just securing your family's future, you're strengthening the communities you serve, And how is that? Because you're protecting their most valuable player, you. You are your communities. You are your families. You are your business's most valuable player. And it is time for us to make sure that you put you first. So every single Sunday, we are going to be coming on, and I am going to have partners that will be sharing information with you. Our first Sundays, we are going to delve into repairing credit. How do you increase your FICO score? Like every first Sunday, we are going in. On our second Sundays, we're going to deal with real estate. We're looking at real estate from, yes, a residential home ownership side, but we're also going to be looking at commercial real estate. On our third Sundays, we're going to delve into investments. There are so many different types of investments, whether it is investing in the stock market, investing, real estate is a version of investing, your 401ks, all of these different things. That's where we're going to really lean in. On our fourth Sundays, that's where we're going to lean into entrepreneurship. And on our fifth Sundays, we're going to lean into education. I hope you guys know and understand what I just laid down are all of the different major vehicles that impact our wealth, that impact our net worth. And it is time for us to love us and to put the oxygen mask on us. So I wanted to come on to let you know that Sipping Swords are back, honey. And every single Sunday, with exception of holiday weekends, we are going to be here sharing nuggets with you and anybody that tunes in, all about our personal finances, because it is time for us to go from a place of just surviving, but to thriving. So I will not be here next Sunday because it's Mother's Day. So y'all, those of you guys that have your mommies, love on her. Y'all know mine passed away 2 years ago. Um, so yeah, it's really special for those of you guys that have your mom. Love on her, spend time with her, be intentional. For those of you that have children, be present, let your baby celebrate you. It's real. But we will be back on Sunday, May the 18th. And that is going to be our third Sunday. So that's where we're going to be delving into investments. And I'm going to have my friends here helping you understand how you can become your own bank. So I hope that this was helpful to you. We're going to make sure that we drop the link with this video so that you can register and get the reminders for our Sipping Swords. But you tell everybody, Ignite is back. Sunday Sipping Swords are back, and we are going bigger and better than ever because this, my friends, is the Wealth Edition. So we'll see you soon. Bye.